Flip to the next page in your notes and you're going to see the first of what we are now going to refer to as angle chases. Ask some of the students that had geometry last year about angle chases. Some of them really loved them and some of them didn't so much. Basically, they're like little puzzles. We've got some given information and we got to figure out the other parts based on some of the properties that we will learn, and we'll add more and more properties so the angle chases get a little bit more challenging as we go through these first few units. But we're starting off with just a couple of properties, our linear pair property and our vertical angles property. So let's just do a few examples on here and then I will have you guys finish up. So for instance, in part 1, we have to find angle A. Well, looking at angle A in the 48 degrees, we know that they are a vertical pair of angles and therefore they are congruent to each other. So angle A is also 48 degrees. Looking at number 2, we know that 52 degrees and B are a linear pair of angles. And so a linear pair of angles add up to 180 degrees. So if you take 180 minus 52 degrees, what does that give us? 128. So 128 degrees. Please put the degree symbol next to these, not just 128, but 128 degrees. So that's the idea on these. There's some other problems that have 2 angles that you will find. So like for instance in number 4 here, you've got this is 26 degrees, this little angle right here, and so E is the linear pair with that, so 180 minus 26. D, look at that, it's a linear pair also, so you can determine what they are. All right, so you'll just find the degrees for each one of the angles that are listed in the letters. Now if you look in number 2, so once you flip down to the bottom of the page, number 2, we have really what would be more of an angle chase. So start with letter A and say, okay, 118 degrees, what's the linear pair with 118? Well, 180 minus 118 is going to give us 62 degrees. Okay, so if you now know that that is 62 degrees, that A is 62, now we can look at down here, okay, well it says this angle is A plus 98. Okay, so what that means is 62, because A is 62 plus 98 is 160 degrees. So this angle right here must be 160 degrees. And then we can look at, okay, well, what is B then? B is a linear pair with the 160, so B must be 20 degrees. 180 plus 60 would be, 20 plus 60 is 180 degrees. Okay, well now that we know that B is 20 degrees, that means that 20 degrees is going to go in place of B down in the next part here. So basically we've got 3B plus 6, so that's 3 times 20 plus 6. 3 times 20 is 60, and 60 plus 6 is 66. So that's 66, and then we can find the linear pair with that right here, 180 minus 66, which is, what, 114 degrees? So C is equal to 114, and so on and so forth. You're going to continue to spiral around here, so you'll notice C can be used, that 114 degrees can be used here, which will eventually get you to D. Once you know D, you can do that D minus 3, and you'll get that angle, and then the linear pair, and you should be able to continue to get all of your angles all the way around. So I would like you to finish that up and finish up the angles throughout this page in part 1 and part 2. That'll be the last thing for your classwork notes for today.